I arrived on a Regent Seven Seas cruise into the port of Rhodes on a pretty October morning. We docked within easy walking distance to the medieval city. I had decided not to take any motor coach excursions that day, as I really wanted the freedom to wander on my own without any tour guides. So I restricted my Rhodes visit to the medieval city, which is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The city is bordered by a 4-kilometer wall that runs along the shore. The Order of St. John of Jerusalem occupied Rhodes from the 13 to 1500s and set about transforming the city into a stronghold. It subsequently came under Turkish and Italian rule, so you can see the influence from all that history. When you first walk inside the walled city, you see the remnants of the 14th century Church of the Virgin of Burgh. It is one of the oldest remaining buildings and a great example of Gothic architecture. Once you walk past the church, you are blitzed with streets lined with shops and more shops. I arrived early in the morning and was happy for it, because about an hour later it was 5 times more crowded. The narrow street of shops eventually opened up into the Hippocrates Square with an outdoor cafe and more shops. I was joined in my wanderings by a couple of new friends from the ship, and we decided to climb the clock tower. There was a small admission fee, but it included a soda when you got to the terrace. When you got to the top, you really couldn't see much out the window. The best views were all from a terrace about midway, where you could see the main mosque tower and 360-degree views of the medieval city. We then sat on the terrace and enjoyed our refreshments. We took off shortly and headed to the Palace of the Grand Masters. It was once the magnificent headquarters of the Order of the Knights of St. John. There was an admission fee. We discovered that we could buy a pass for 4 museums in the city for a discounted rate, so that's what we did. It really is a glorious building. As soon as you walk in, there is a central plaza that is surrounded by arched hallways and statues. To get to the top floors, you have to scale some wide, rail-less stairs, but you are rewarded when you get to the top. As you wander from room to room, it feels like you are witnessing the setting for a Vermeer painting, with the light shining through the windows. The halls are rich with medieval decoration and stunningly decorative mosaic floors. The ceilings have beautifully crafted stone arches, and the rooms have some lovely period furniture and paintings. There are numerous rooms on the top floors, each with its own beauty. The entire museum has been meticulously restored and maintained. When we left, we discovered the Street of Knights, which is one of the best preserved medieval streets in Europe. The painstaking construction of the cobblestone street, which contains very small stones, is really impressive. The street runs almost exactly east to west and hosts 7 inns representing the 7 countries from which the Knights of the Order of St. John came. We then headed to Our Lady of the Castle, which housed another museum. It was built in the 11th century and is an example of Byzantine architecture. There were some intricate carvings, paintings, and frescoes housed in the museum. There was also an outdoor area where you can get a better vision of the building's construction. Our final museum we visited was the Archeological Museum. There were many architectural artifacts laying about, but I was most fascinated by the cannonballs. They had them stacked in a pile, and I had to get a picture taken with them. We then found a place to eat lunch that was recommended, called the Veranda. It sat up on, yes, a veranda, and we had some lovely food. We then headed out the walls and walked a short while along the boardwalk near the marina. There were some fun souvenir kiosks where you could get natural sponges, shells, and lots of things made with shells. That completed my day in Rhodes. I enjoyed exploring at a relaxing pace and taking in the history of the medieval city. If you'd like to follow more of my senior and solo travels, please click subscribe below. Cheers!